Alright, back at it. Wow, it's been a while, and I'm really not sure how to start these videos, to be honest. I don't know what to say or what to just speak about. I guess I've always wanted to make them somewhat interesting and, entertaining, but at the end of the day, videos are here to kind of act as records of my own life. That's how I started this channel, as an idea to view my life at different stages, see how I change, see how my ideas change over time. And I've expressed some ideas, but not many. And yeah, whenever I record these videos, I feel like a sense of, maybe that's one thing that I can talk about. Just recording videos in general, putting the camera on me, and the emotions that come from that. Especially when I take these longer breaks, I notice that there's a lot more negative emotion, right? I've been listening to a book on addictions, procrastination, laziness, all that. I think the book is actually titled Addiction, Laziness, Procrastination, and How to Overcome It. And the main idea of the book is that we are binary creatures in terms of our actions. The main operators that drive all human behavior on a fundamental level are will. Well, it's kind of like a four-way street, or it's like a square with four parts to it. So one of them is, okay, will this action, if I'm currently experiencing discomfort, will this action relieve that discomfort, right? Will I be relieved of it? Will I feel better? And the other one is, okay, well, if I'm feeling really good, well, how can I keep this going, right? Like everything below that, or how can I maintain this level, or go above it? Right? We're pleasure-seeking creatures. At the end of the day, we want to get pleasure or to relieve. Yeah, so essentially that's what we are. We're creatures that try to relieve discomfort or seek pleasure. And every action that we have is in line with that. If you're feeling anxiety, for example, well, your goal is to relieve the discomfort. How do you relieve discomfort? In that sense, well, you simply avoid. You usually avoid the situation, or you try to distract yourself from it. You try and push it away. Now, as for the cause of that, well, it doesn't delve into that too much, but essentially things that, are addicting, they tap into our pleasure. They give us pleasure. They bring us above our baseline. So when we wake up, usually we're in a pretty neutral state. And if you start the day, let's say, on your phone scrolling on social media, first thing you do, well, suddenly you're giving yourself a big rush. You're giving yourself a big rush of dopamine. You're giving yourself pleasure. Pleasure that relative to other activities is high. So then when you try and do other activities during the day, well, it'll feel a lot tougher, because the phone already set this precedent, and your natural inclination is to keep the pleasure at the same level or higher. So that's why often we find ourselves in these loops of addictive behavior. And I want to kind of do an overarching kind of talk on this. There's so many things that I want to say to the camera. I know that it's just about life and things that I've thought about, which may or may not be profound, but at the end of the day, it's my channel. At the end of the day, that's a word that I use a lot, expression that I use a lot. I notice it. So all these things connect in that sense, but scrolling on my phone, just like that, and I wake up in the morning, and when I do it, I notice it. And then the day I'll sometimes write a to-do list of the things that I want to do during the day, and then I end up not doing any of them, and I end up utilizing drugs, or using drugs, abusing really is the right word. You know, watching YouTube, eating junk food, doing all the bad habits. And you think about it and it makes perfect sense, right? I'm a person that I consider myself to be very disciplined in certain areas. And the only reason for that, or the main reason, is because I have good genetics for these areas. For weight training, for example, good genetics there. So therefore, I get the reward more quickly than others, which propagates the cycle of wanting to do it more, right? Like, I train quite a bit. I'm quite proud of the physique that I have. That's like the gayest shit, dude. If anyone watches this, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm like fucking... But, hey, I just wanted to prove a point. Maybe stroke my own ego a bit. I don't know. Oh, man. It's tough to talk to a camera, you know? Especially when you don't believe in yourself. That's another thing. Right? There's so many thoughts in my head of just what I want to speak about. Because this is exciting. This is nice. To just be able to speak my mind on things and not keep it all together, not keep it all inside. Especially when you're feeling very attached. Okay, so about a month ago a bit over a month ago I went to Europe. Before that, I started getting to a very good routine of things. I started journal every night, quick meditation before bed, did my bed, would read before I went there, and it seemed to work out. Like, obviously not every night was the same level of satisfaction, but like generally I had a good routine going, and my workouts were, and I felt quite strong, just like things were going in the right direction. Then I go to Europe, and I found once again this idea that comes very often of losing yourself. Well, I went to many different countries, met many different people, and I didn't have time to really get used to that routine that would kind of help me build this different identity at home. So instead I brought with me a kind of half-baked new identity, which quickly crumbled and became this old kind of disappointed in self and ashamed. It brought the shame with me, which is the biggest thing, alright? The shame kills, man. The shame kills. It really does. And bringing that shame with me made it difficult to connect with others, right? When you're ashamed of yourself, it is nearly impossible to connect. Because what does shame do? Bringing back to that concept of, the pleasure unconscious. I don't know if I spoke about that, but that's an idea in the book. Of like, you're unconscious, always seeking pleasure. Talked about that. Let's call it the pleasure unconscious. So you're always seeking that. And when you're in that state of shame, well, discomfort. What is relieving comfort is pleasure. So, how do you get rid of this feeling that makes you want to just kind of become like a ball and disappear, right? Disappear. That's how I see this emotion. It's very potent. It's very, very potent. It's like, it literally makes you want to curdle up in a very, very tight ball. And like, when felt, and then done, depending on the intensity of it, on the lower end, okay, don't be seen. Higher end, okay, let's go in the corner there and get in that fetal position. Even higher than that, okay, let's really tighten this up and just don't look at me type deal. Stay away. Dangerous. Danger. Alright, kind of that. On the highest end, death, disappearing. And bye-bye. What if I try to say the same thing? And yeah, it really is the, I guess, master emotion. I don't even know if it's an emotion. It's this idea, this thing, this. I mean, we use words for these things, right? How to describe it? Well, if you're on this channel, you probably know what shame feels like. If you're a human being, you probably have felt shame to some degree before. But yeah, the really intense shame. That's what hurts. That's what hurts. When it strikes you at your core. And I've had that plenty of times. And it's like holding onto a ball. Like a really heavy ball in your stomach. All the time. Well, actually, in my last video, or a couple of videos back, I saw a comment about. Okay, well, I guess my family's down there. See them. I saw a comment about somebody saying that I look like I'm 30, even though I'm 20. Well, I'm 23 now. But yeah, dude, nah, it was fucked. I'm like, wow, yeah, I guess it ages you fast too, right? Like, sure, I got this physique, but I also have, you know, receding hairline. That's just a part of it. What can I do about it, right? Where am I going with this video? Am I going to upload it? I don't know. But